For decades, Bruce Willis was seen as the ultimate action hero, sarcastic, unbreakable, and effortlessly cool on screen. From surviving impossible odds in Die Hard to redefining the modern action lead, he built a legacy rooted in charisma and grit. Yet behind that image was a far more fragile and human story. A boy who once struggled to speak, a young man who fought rejection, and an actor who found freedom only when pretending to be someone else. This is the journey from silence to stardom, and the cost that often hides behind greatness. A childhood marked by silence. Bruce Willis was born in 1955 on a U.S. military base in West Germany, before moving to New Jersey. His early life was shaped by working-class discipline, but also an unexpected challenge that changed everything: a severe stutter. By the age of 9, speaking became a daily struggle. Words would stall, sentences would break apart, and simple communication felt like an exhausting battle. School was no refuge either. Classmates mocked him, turning his difficulty into a label that followed him everywhere. In a world that rewarded confidence, Bruce learned what it meant to feel unheard. Turning pain into performance. Instead of withdrawing completely, Bruce found an unusual defense mechanism: humor. If he could make people laugh, he could control how they saw him. Comedy became both shield and language. He leaned into physical jokes, expressions, and timing, rather than smooth speech. The classroom bully's target slowly transformed into the class entertainer. This shift didn't remove the stutter, but it changed its meaning. What once symbolized weakness became the foundation of a personality built on timing, instinct, and presence, skills that would later define his screen career. The stage that changed everything. High school introduced Bruce to drama, and it became a turning point. Acting offered something life had not: relief. When performing as someone else, the stutter disappeared. Lines flowed naturally, as if the pressure that blocked his speech no longer existed. The stage became a rare space where he could exist without fear of interruption or judgment. For the first time, speaking in front of others didn't feel like a risk. It felt like freedom. That discovery quietly redirected his entire future toward performance and storytelling. New York and the grind years. After graduation, Bruce didn't enter fame. He entered survival. He worked ordinary jobs, including security work and private investigation, while chasing acting opportunities on the side. Eventually, he moved to New York City in the late 1970s, living in a small apartment and taking whatever work he could find. One of his most formative jobs was bartending in Hell's Kitchen, where performance never stopped. Behind the counter, he learned rhythm, crowd reading, and charisma under pressure. Every night became practice for a stage he had not yet reached. Rejection and the edge of giving up. Despite his energy and presence, Hollywood was not impressed. Casting directors often dismissed him for not fitting traditional leading man expectations. He was seen as unconventional, too rough around the edges, or simply not polished enough. Auditions became a cycle of hope followed by rejection. As his 30s approached, doubt grew heavier. Many actors at that stage left the industry entirely, returning to stable work. Bruce faced the same crossroads, balancing ambition with the fear of returning to obscurity and silence. The breakthrough. Moonlighting. In 1984, everything shifted with a single audition for a television pilot called Moonlighting. The role required charm, wit, and unpredictability, qualities Bruce had unknowingly been refining for years. He wasn't the studio's first choice. In fact, executives were skeptical of his appearance and style, but his audition was electric. He didn't just read lines, he performed them with attitude and rhythm that felt alive. Against expectations, he was cast. The show became a phenomenon, and Bruce Willis became a household name almost overnight. From TV star to global icon, Moonlighting made him famous, but it also broke industry rules. Television actors were rarely allowed to become film stars, yet Bruce challenged that boundary when he was cast as John McClane in Die Hard. Studios doubted the choice and critics mocked it. He wasn't the typical action hero. He didn't look invincible. But that was exactly the point. When Die Hard released, audiences connected with a hero who bled, joked, and struggled. It redefined the action genre and made Bruce Willis a global icon. The doubts behind the success. Even as Die Hard succeeded, skepticism didn't disappear. Hollywood often struggled to categorize Bruce. He wasn't purely an action star, nor strictly a comedian. That dual identity became both his strength and challenge. Some roles succeeded brilliantly, while others failed to capture audiences. Over time, he became one of the most recognizable faces in film, but also one of the most debated. His career reflected both the power and pressure of constant reinvention in an industry that rarely forgives inconsistency. Fame, aging, and changing perception. As years passed, Bruce Willis continued acting, but the landscape around him changed. Action films evolved, audiences shifted, and expectations grew sharper. Later in his career, some performances were criticized as uneven, leading to speculation about his motivation for continuing certain roles. To the public, it sometimes looked like decline or detachment, but careers that span decades rarely move in a straight line. Behind the scenes, he was navigating both professional evolution and deeply personal challenges that were not yet widely understood. The hidden weight of a public life. What the audience saw on screen was only part of the story. Behind the roles, there was a man shaped by early struggle, constant adaptation, and the pressure of maintaining an icon's image. The same qualities that made him successful, resilience, humor, persistence, also meant he rarely stepped away easily. In later years, his absence from clarity on screen took on deeper meaning, reframing earlier assumptions about decline into something more human, a reminder that even legends are not separate from vulnerability. Conclusion: Bruce Willis's journey is not just a Hollywood success story. It is a transformation built on silence, survival, and reinvention. From a boy unable to speak without struggle to an actor who defined an era of cinema, his life reflects the tension between image and reality. Fame often freezes people in time, but real lives continue to change behind it. In the end, his legacy is not only the action hero who never backed down, but the person who spent a lifetime learning how to find his voice in every possible form.